AITA. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to throw my baby's shower party when she is suffering from infertility? This is a confusing one, sorry. I am dating my sister Lucy's boyfriend, Josh, of 3-ish years, that she broke up with. I know there's a whole thing surrounding dating a sibling's ex, but please hear me out. We live in relatively small village, it's a 10-mile drive to the nearest town, and I haven't got my driver's license yet, because I've been too busy with work and classes. Lucy and Josh started dating around late 2016, and got engaged in 2018. Then in early 2019, Lucy found out she can't have children due to a problem with her ovaries. I don't know exactly what went on, but after the infertility diagnosis Lucy became very depressed. She went on antidepressant medicine and started therapy. A few weeks after starting therapy, she and Josh broke up, mutually apparently. Josh lives just down the road from us, so I see him out and about on the farm quite often. It just kind of happened naturally, we grew closer together and went on some dates, but then I fell unexpectedly pregnant, but I kept it secret from Lucy, because she is still very down and depressed. In my opinion, Josh can't just never move on, and someone shouldn't be forever off limits because your sibling briefly dated them. So I decided after 2 months that it was time to tell Lucy. Soon I'll start to show and I'm planning on moving in with Josh before the baby arrives, but shoot hit the fan. She's living back at home now and has been since the breakup, and she looks awful, she mostly slouches around in her PJs. I sat her down and said I have some news. I told her I was with Josh and that I'm expecting. I told her it would mean the world to me if she would be godmother to the baby, and asked if she would like to plan the shower for me, as I know she absolutely thrives on parties. She didn't even react, just asked me to leave. I made the point that it's our parents' house. I know on paper this sounds bad, it really does, but I should be allowed to live my life and so should Josh. The baby was unplanned and something we couldn't have foreseen. I know that is probably a bit of salt in the wound, but I couldn't have helped a complete surprise. I love my sister, and want to see her happy, but she texted me this morning saying this. Lucy, thanks for letting me know you're dating Josh, oh, and that you're pregnant with his child. Congratulations, you achieved what I could not. I am in such a bad place and you will never understand. Josh and I agreed I needed time and medication and then we would try again, but I guess he never told you that, did he? As for your baby shower, all I can say is well done, you always were good at telling jokes. I hope you rot in hell, you evil bitch. I confronted Josh about this and he admitted it was true, but that once we started dating that he fell in love with me. They have been apart for 6 months now, and it is getting tiring. I have a baby on the way and I desperately need her support. AITA? Am I the a-hole? I hope this is fake. If it is not, you are one of the biggest a-hole I have seen on this site. YTA. You're the a-hole. YTA 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 times 1000. Wow. Briefly dated. 3 years is not brief, and they were engaged. 6 months apart is nothing. And you should never have asked her to throw you a party, celebrating not only a baby that she is mourning that she couldn't conceive, but to her very recent ex who she was planning a life with. You don't sound like you've been supportive or understanding of your sister at all. It is extremely common for people to mourn their loss when they find out they have fertility problems. It sounds like your sister is still mourning and you expect her to celebrate you. Nah. Just so you know, OP, YTA. YTA. You're the a-hole. They were engaged in 2018 and they broke up early 2019. It is now January 2020, which means you got pregnant from her ex within a year of them breaking up. This isn't he can't be unavailable forever, this is they broke up so I'm frocking him without a condom ASAP. You don't get pregnant by accident, that's bullshit. You get pregnant by having sex. This was consensual, so the blame is on both of you for doing this. and the audacity to ask her to host a shower for you. This alone is batshit crazy, but then it gets even worse. She's infertile and has problems dealing with that, which you know. The biggest the a-hole of 2019 has just been announced, but we have a good contender for 2020 right here. Jesus frocking Christ. YTA. You started dating your sister's ex within 4 months of them breaking up, and without talking to her about it. They'd been together 3 years, were engaged and were trying for a baby. That's a serious relationship, not just briefly dating. Having her sister dive in to pick up the pieces within a few months of it falling apart is obviously going to hurt. In any case, you knew she wouldn't have been okay with this, otherwise you would have told her about it. So, all of that already makes you a major a-hole. But to make matters worse, when you sat down and told your sister about this, rather than being apologetic and letting her come to terms with it, you tried to dress it up as a good thing and a nice opportunity for her. That shows a shocking lack of empathy, and complete disregard for her feelings. Asking her to be godmother, given the circumstances, is absolutely not something you should have even considered, until she had chance to come to terms with this, and you could gauge whether it was appropriate. Asking her to throw a party to celebrate you getting knocked up by her ex-fiance is just a shitty move, that proves you don't care how she feels or who you hurt. You should be ashamed of yourself. YTA. You're a terrible person, and betrayed your sister in the most terrible way ever. Obviously, you must have liked each other, or deep down have issues with your sister to ever have considered dating her a-hole fiancé, who left her because she couldn't have kids. Was he the only man in the village or university? Is his penis made of gold? Is he super rich? I just can't imagine doing that to a friend, let alone my sister. I hope your sister makes a swift recovery, and has nothing to do with any of you. YTA. And also Josh is clearly using you as second best to your sister. You have to be one of the worst people I have ever heard of. You are petty and gross. YTA. YTA. Why the frock would you ask her to do that and bring that trauma back up? YTA. I am having a baby and desperately need her support. FYI. You are not going to get it. Even if baby daddy wasn't her ex, you would still be YTA for not caring how much emotional pain your sister is in. YTA. Being together for 3 years and getting engaged isn't dating briefly. It doesn't matter how small your town is, it's messed up for you to have even started dating this guy within a year of a breakup, over something serious like that. And then on top of that, you ask your depressed sister to throw you a baby shower? When her infertility that led to her breaking up with the father of your child, has played a major factor in her depression. I don't understand how you don't see how selfish you're being here. Your sister is still really struggling with an event that altered her whole life, and you're throwing it in her face before she has even had time to try moving on from it. I'm not giving you a rating of YTA, because to be frank you are so shite that a-hole doesn't do poetic justice. How dare you? How dare you literally steal your sister's life? How dare you go to her when she's not in a good place? What the actual frock is wrong with you? She got dumped by her ex, now the two of you had sex, next you came to your sister for a baby shower project, and you're wondering why the hell she decided to immediately say no and went to redirect? Have you forgotten so easily why she's in the place she really shouldn't, cause I genuinely want to hug her after everything you put her through? This is one of the worst AITA posts I've ever seen in my entire life, no cap. Everything you did up until this point, you either ignored the fact that your sister is hurting, or simply didn't care for her feelings at all. You deserve the backlash big time, and don't be surprised if your sister decides it's over for you and her, don't. You better count your lucky stars if she ever forgives you, because I don't see how she can unless she's the most positive girl in the world, period.